Feed PM continues now here on Newzroom Afrika, channel 405. Thanks for staying on. Now, as youth unemployment in South Africa continues to worsen, there are growing calls for serious interventions. An organization called Transport Education Training Authority has established an initiative called Empowa Youth Weekend aimed at supporting thousands of jobless young people. To hear more about this initiative, I'm now joined by Sabelo Mbuku, who is the head of marketing and communications at TETA. Sabelo, good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on this afternoon. Tell us a bit more. What is TETA?
Thank you so much, Tabo, and thank you to the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. When we talk about TETA, that is the Transport Education Training Authority, it is one of the 21 SETAs that we have in the country that are mandated then to drive skills development and training in various sectors of the economy. So TETA is focused specifically in transport.
So what areas of transport are you actually exploring and certainly highlighting and unearthing opportunities, particularly for young people?
Basically, we look at transport holistically. Transport is segmented into 8 subsectors. You will have rail, you will have road, you will have the forwarding and clearing, and then road freight, as well as maritime, aviation. So all of these, then we have segmented them such that they give opportunities that are targeted to different areas of the industries. Wherein, if you are looking at the area where we are now, where we would focus maybe on logistics, warehousing, to try then and locate those opportunities for young people and connect them to those entities that would actually actualize those opportunities.
Yeah. When one looks at the transport sector, in fact, even those 8 categories that you've just mentioned, one looks at them and thinks, well, they are quite cost prohibitive. I mean, if you look at rail, if you need to be in that space, you would want to have quite huge capital outlay. If you look at maritime in particular, also quite expensive. And for young people fresh out of varsity wanting to get into that space, it's something that is not really easy to penetrate. How are you making that easy?
Yeah, look, I mean, as much as it would look impossible, when you have graduated and you would obviously need work experience in some instances, wherein then the internships that are funded by the SETA become sort of a stepping stone to get you into the industry, as well as those that are maybe coming out of a TVET college, they would be able to get an opportunity to be placed in that 18 months sort of work experience, which will afford them an opportunity to graduate in the end. So with those vehicles that are funded by the SETA, we are able then to say we are closing the gap. And you've got what we call work readiness programs that we also use to try and ready those that have exited the system, but they are ready for the workplace. Then we ensure that they get those soft skills that will help them enter the market. But over and above that, you look at small businesses that we also provide support to, understanding that obviously entry into some of these transport spaces might be difficult. We do provide that kind of support, whether it be training and development for their personnel so that they can compete well, because I mean the industry obviously is competitive. So we do try our level best to make sure that we level the playing field to accommodate the new entrants.
So you're looking at warehousing and logistics as the lowest possibly hanging fruits and good points of entry. What kind of programs can young people sign up to, especially in that space?
Look, there is what we call supplier chain learnerships, supply chain management learnerships, or freight handling learnerships that young people, those that perhaps have exited matric and they are not in any way of training and all that. So then they get an opportunity for about 12 months to be trained and then be certificated so that they can at least enter into that market. Because obviously, when we look at supply chain, there's customs, the goods that are exiting or coming into the country, they would need personnel who would be able to administer those. So at least we are able to facilitate those kind of learnerships and afford young people those opportunities. So it is what we can do, looking at also at the economy, pillars of the province. So you have to look at all of those elements. But if we were to look at the program that we were running here in Mafikeng for the past 3 days, we looked at bringing in mining, agriculture, tourism, entrepreneurship, and then health and wellness. So all of these, we felt that as TETA, we might not be able to speak to the needs of the young people holistically. Hence, we then created a platform that attracts other industries to come in and begin to demonstrate exactly what sort of opportunities young people can explore, including agriculture. So I think in a nutshell, as a SETA, we are almost playing an mediation role to ensure that young people are connected to opportunities, not necessarily only in transport, but those that we can bring on board, at least we expand, the opportunities that they can get to.
So how do you ensure coming out of a weekend like the Empowa Youth Weekend that, young people didn't just come in, collected some brochures and some pens and a bag, maybe listened to a couple of people speaking, and they go back to the same kind of environment that they were in previously, and nothing really changes?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's important that we collaborate and we create partnerships. And as we do that, we also connect these young people to real people that are available in the province. There is what we call local economic development that is available in the municipality, the local municipality. So we had to invite them in, connect these young people to these people so that they are able to engage further, because they have access to various entities and opportunities in the province. So when young people now are aware of how to then access this information, how to access opportunities, they will be able to go to a central point in the municipality to ensure that the information that has been shared and opportunities that are readily available in the province, they are shared with young people to compete for them. I mean, the ones that were present, for instance, a young person pitched a business for about 1 minute to Brand SA. And they were afforded about 10,000 rand so that they can expand their small business and begin to operate like in spaces where they can make profit. So for us, these are tangible opportunities, and where we turned dreams into reality within the space of 2 days. So we believe when we collaborate, we are able to unearth new talent, and we are able to then sustain whatever it is that they've started, whether it be in agriculture. There was a research council that was present that would be able to provide the necessary information about the land that maybe young people have access to, but they don't know what kind of crops they can, plow in those. So looking at all of those, we are in the transport sector, but we believe that we've got an integrated system that we need to encourage other stakeholders to play their part and make sure that at least we bring some hope to our young people.
Quite encouraging, that story where you're saying you are able to create immediate linkages, and young people can come out of there with some immediate tangible results of having attended the weekend. Is this a hit and run type of situation? How do you plan to, I suppose, revisit these moments and revisit these connections to see if there is indeed progress?
Look, without divulging much, but I mean the appetite from the province that is in the northwest, we've had indirect conversations with the municipality. They would like this to come back, and the Premier's office have an appetite to make sure that this does not end here. So if you look at that kind of buy-in, it is just a matter of engaging further to make those conversations a reality. And our hope is that we will get more partners that will come on board, that we can roll this out throughout the country, where we mobilize all the stakeholders, providers that would have, an influence in ensuring that young people are connected to opportunities, whether to start up their own businesses or to further, their training or skills development. Ours is just to ensure that we spark the conversations and ensure that there are tangibles that we can provide and say, these are the young people that got into the last mile delivery. They now own scooters. They are connected to the e-commerce business. They are now delivering, into households. So these are the stories that we want to hear when we have left the town.
Sabelo, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on.